decades-long investigation into Bermuda Triangle finally explains mysterious disappearances, RT reports. British oceanographers have concluded a decades-long investigation into the Bermuda Triangle mystery and finally determined what is behind the hundreds of mysterious disappearances in this area. The mysterious 700,000 square meter triangle stretching between the tip of Florida, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda, and has been the center of public fascination for over 100 years, when reports first started emerging of an unusual amount of shipwrecks in the area, in the region. The New York Times claimed at least 50 ships, 20 aircraft, and more than 1,000 people have succumbed to the triangle in the past 500 years. And now researchers from the University of Southampton say ships are being sucked into the ocean by rogue waves over 100 feet high in height, explaining their theory in a documentary named The Bermuda Triangle Enigma. Quote, "There are storms to the south and north which come together. We've measured waves in excess of 100 feet. The bigger the boat gets, the more dangerous, the more damage is done," unquote. Dr. Simon Boxall, an oceanographer who led the study, said, "While many theories to explain the disappearances have been floated about over the years, scientists first zeroed in on the freak wave hypothesis when an 18.5 meter rogue wave, 18.5 meters is about 18.5 yards height. The rogue wave was measured in the North Sea by satellites in 1995. Rogue waves occur when an abnormally large wave crashes in the open sea. Normal waves of around 12 meters have a breaking pressure of 8.5 psi, that's pounds per square inch. Modern ships are designed to tolerate about 21 psi, but rogue waves can have a crushing pressure of up to 140 psi, enough to topple even the sturdiest of ships. Now, for the documentary, Dr. Boxall and his team recreated the mammoth waves using indoor simulators and built a model of the USS Cyclops to see what effect it would have had on the large ships. The Cyclops went missing in the triangle, in the Bermuda Triangle, in 1918, 100 years ago, and it had 309 people on board. Boxall said, "If you can imagine rogue waves with peaks at either end, there's nothing below the boat, so it snaps in two, and if it happens, it can sink in 2 to 3 minutes." The most recent disappearance was just last year when a plane carrying 4 people went missing over the infamous triangle. The group had spent Mother's Day in Puerto Rico and were flying back to Florida when their twin propeller plane vanished from radar. The search was eventually called off and no bodies were ever found. Now, we spoke about the rogue waves in the sea, but what happens in the air is still a mystery. In continuation, another article, Mystery of Bermuda Triangle may have finally been solved on RT. Over the centuries, we said theories abounded about the mystery behind the Bermuda Triangle, where more than 75 planes and hundreds of ships have disappeared. It's thought that the hexagonal clouds over this 500,000 square mile area of ocean between Bermuda, Florida, and Puerto Rico could be creating huge 170-mile-an-hour winds, or air bombs as they're called, air bombs. And these deadly blasts of air can tear down trees, topple over ships, and even bring planes crashing down. So this would, of course, perhaps explain what's happening to the planes. We've already talked about the rogue waves concerning the ships, and now the air bombs concerning the planes. Researchers analyzed imagery from NASA satellite and found the hexagonal-shaped clouds 240 kilometers off the coast of Florida over the Bahamas. Speaking to Science Channel, Dr. Steve Miller, a satellite meteorologist from Colorado State University, said, "Traditionally, cloud shapes don't have straight edges." Miller explains you don't typically see straight edges with clouds. Most of the time clouds are random in their distribution, with the hexagonal shapes differing in sizes between 32 and 88 kilometers in width. Their location in the western part of the Bermuda Triangle could explain why so many aircraft and ships have gone missing. Scientists explain similar cloud shapes from the North Sea off the coast of the UK and found sea level winds of up to 160 kilometers per hour, which are powerful enough to create waves more than 14 yards high, 45 feet waves. Similar wind patterns were found underneath the hexagonal shapes in the Bahamas, and the team believes that these air bombs are connected. Quote, these types of hexagonal shapes over the ocean are in essence air bombs, end quote. Dr. Randy Cerveni from the University of Arizona said, quote, they are formed by what are called microbursts, and they're blasts of air that come down out of the bottom of a cloud and then hit the ocean and then create waves that can sometimes be massive in size, and they start to interact with each other, end quote. So you can understand how the rogue waves come into effect is from the downdrafts of the air cluster bombs, the air bombs. Researchers will continue to analyze satellite images with hopes of alerting authorities should an air bomb appear in the future. Notable disappearances from the area include the USS Cyclops, as we said, that disappeared 100 years ago, 1918, and the U.S. Navy ship that mysteriously disappeared with the 309 crew members on board, March 4th, 1918, and Flight 19, where 5 TMB Avenger torpedo bombers vanished on December 5th, 1945, over the Atlantic, and a lot more. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, And we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.